Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Having a particularly good day myself. I'm in good spirits because for two reasons actually. Firstly, I've finished everything with the builders. They've been in, done the work. They did a good job actually in the end. So all you got to do to try and get builders to do a good job is threaten to sue them apparently. But that got the job done nicely. So I'm pleased about that. But also what's just arrived, and I've been waiting friggin' ages for this as well, is my Harley Benton Baritone Jazzmaster. I haven't unboxed it or anything yet. I'm going to make a video for that for the channel, which would be like our first gear video of doing an unboxing and stuff like that. And then I'll wait a bit, play it and God knows what, and see if I can make a tune and see how that turns out as well. So I haven't opened it at all yet. I've got no idea if it's kind of the next broke or anything like that. We'll have to see when I kind of open the box, but I'll do all that on the video. So it's a kind of first opening, and you know, I can get surprised if it is all snapped and broken, or if it's in very nice condition, hopefully. I'm hoping it's not broken. Now today we're going to check out one of my favorite bands to check out on this channel. I'm not going to bang on about them too much and keep repeating myself. If you want to hear what I've got to say about this band and all the reason why I think they're such a cool band, just put their name into my channel and a bunch of videos will come up. But the latest one that I did last anyway was a kind of roundup video where I said these are my favorite band of the year, and for a whole bunch of very cool reasons. This is Bleeding Sun. They're back with their latest tune. This one is called Tryptophan. Let's give it a spin. Sounds super. Man, these guys just get better and better. This track, for me personally, I really put an ear to that. They're approaching perfection for this style of music. I honestly feel it. Alt metal, it has got a kind of early 2000s vibe to it. This track particularly, this tone of it reminded me of one of my favorite bands, and most people won't have heard of this band, but a few people I know watch the channel will have. It's Earth Tone 9, and if you don't know that band, go off and check them out, because they're really, really nice UK band, and they were one of my favorite bands at the time. But the tone on the vocal on this, and the sound and the reverb and the layering, man, it had a real similar sound to some of their tracks, and it just comes across with an emotion. And just sounds really, really nice. Man, these guys, I'm just thinking, these guys are a three, if you don't know anything about this band, these guys are a three-piece band from all over the country in America. And they got together and just started making music. And because Brett is really good on the mixing and has got a professional mixing ear, he makes their music, which is really great music, but he makes it sound like high quality. I will say it does sound like a kind of a studio mix. It doesn't sound like a kind of bedroom mix in that, you know, it's got any kind of stepping outside the boundaries. It's very kind of by the book in terms of the studio sound, but that's the high quality studio sound. You know, that's not a diss in any way. It's just we check out a lot of underground bands here and bands doing their own mixes, and because of that you get personal, weird sounding, unique mixes. This sounds like a proper professional standard mix. And man, even on this one, they've stepped it up from the last ones where I've said all of that stuff before, but this one sounds even more professional. The changes and the dynamics of the track were absolutely perfect. The way it dropped into that atmospheric verse with the buzzy, synthy sounds really sounded good. Man, it just sounded so kind of early 2000s to me. It just reminded me of some of the bands that I absolutely loved at that time. And then they stepped it up a gear for that kind of pre-chorus, came in heavy with the chunky guitars on the chorus, and man, it just sounded so great. There were lots of extra bits in there, the extra heavy vocal bits as well. Man, this band is 10 out of 10, and I've been absolutely vindicated in why I did that roundup video and, you know, highlighted this one band out of all of the bands that I had on the channel last year, like 1,000 bands, because man, they're just absolutely killing it. Three dudes from you know, different parts of the country working together over the internet, getting the job done, recording, mixing, mastering them all themselves. This one had a nice high quality video that goes with the track and everything else as well. So they're ticking that box as well. Man, what more can you ask out of this band? If there's any, I don't know if this is how it works anymore in the industry, but if there's any kind of scouts out there who watch this channel who, you know, think, well, maybe one day you might have someone worth signing, this is the band that you need to sign. Absolutely. Now, I would say that this style of music isn't super popular, or at least it doesn't seem to be, although I would say it's probably due a comeback. And if it's going to sound like this, especially from homebrew bands, man, I think alt metal and even alt rock and grunginess and stuff like that, that 90s, late 90s vibe, can come back around again and sound really nice, but with an extra punch and loudness that you get from the extra modern mix. So I'd like to see it come back around again. I'm not sure if that's what, you know, companies are looking for, and I'm not even sure if these three dudes, if they were approached by a record label or a promoter or something like that, and who, you know, wanted to sign them up and get them to sign a contract, whether they'd be interested in it, because although they're not pulling the numbers that they should be just yet, they're doing everything else that they need to do. That's literally the only thing that's lacking. And I really feel that if this band, you know, we're on, I don't know, rock radio, if that's even a thing anymore. I mean, the music scene's changed so much in the last kind of 10, 15 years, and it's still changing as time goes by, that I'm not sure going down the old school route of getting on rock radio, getting a record deal and signed into a contract is really the route that this band wants to go down anyway. So that might just be a kind of blast to the past, you know. I'm sure a record company, if they heard this band, would recognize the quality in them, and would definitely be interested in them. But as I say, all this band needs, they don't need a mixer, they don't need a studio contract, they don't need all that. All this band needs is more people to know about them, more people to hear their music and get on board and enjoy them. Now that's probably the hardest thing to do, and I'm trying to do my best for them over here, but you know, we're still only small fry, and we're, you know, just doing our best. But if these guys could be big, you know, hundreds of thousands big is what I'm talking about. So I don't know, man. You just got to kind of keep plugging away at it, I guess, and hope that that break comes. But if you were interested in heading down the more old school route of getting a contract deal, I would say now is the time to just start sending this track, this video, or whatever album that you're putting together to all the big companies. And I'm talking about, you know, Sony and all of those big companies, because I'm sure one of them would be interested in offering you a deal, if that's even a thing now. I might just be, you know, talking out of date, and that's not how it works anymore. But if that is how it still works, you know, these guys are that level of quality. I'm talking about a big company being interested in them because they're just there. They're there with it. Everything sounded so great, such a great composition. Man, I tried not to repeat myself too much in this video, but I can't say anything else about this band, you know. I've said everything I want to say about this band, and other than saying, man, they just step it up every single time. These guys are just absolutely killing it. I love that they keep sending their stuff through on the channel, and they love being on the channel, and you know, we're all having a good vibe off of it. Very, very nice. So hope you've enjoyed that today. If this is your first taste of Bleeding Sun, go and check out, you know, the other videos that I've got, or just, you know, their channel or whatever, because their tracks are all different. They don't all just sound the same. They're varied, and man, they're just sounding really, really great. So if you like alt metal, alt rocky sound, these guys are the real deal. Very, very nice. Hope you've enjoyed that today, guys. That's it from me. See you around. Cheers. Bye.